Hello everybody, welcome back to Screen Stars. I'm here today to bring you my review for the 2021 documentary Val, a film that is directed by Ting Po and Leo Scott, and this film focuses on the life of the actor Val Kilmer. Now, we learn early on in this documentary, and this is something new anyway, and probably many of you will know that a couple of years ago Val Kilmer suffered with throat cancer. He recovered fairly quickly from the throat cancer. However, the treatment involved in it basically has affected his voice really quite profoundly. So he can't speak particularly well anymore. When he does speak, he has to kind of use, he's got those things on his throat that he has to touch to kind of speak through. I'm not sure if it's a voice box, but something similar. And as this documentary explains, by not Val Kilmer himself, but his son Jack, who sounds remarkably like Val Kilmer when he was a younger man, he kind of tells the story of Val Kilmer using Val Kilmer's own words. Now, this documentary is it's full of like footage filmed by Val Kilmer himself. As he explains early again in the documentary, he was one of the first people he knew to ever own a video camera. And this is in the 80s. So you can see him filming his early life, right from being kids playing with his brothers, right up until his earlier roles, like in drama school, things like that, and then his earlier roles on stage, and then Hollywood, etc., etc. And he's continued it consistently throughout his career, like filming on sets and off sets, filming family stuff, all that kind of stuff. So he's actually got, and it shows at the beginning again in the documentary, he's got thousands of hours of footage that he's filmed himself that is ripe for the picking in regards of a documentary of this sort. And it makes for an absolutely fascinating watch, and rarely have I seen a documentary, certainly about an individual, that is so raw and revealing and honest, really. I really, really liked this documentary. Really enjoyed it. I thought it was told really well. And like I say, you get footage from this video camera of him throughout his career, and he talks very honestly about many of his roles in his career. His most famous roles like Top Gun, Tombstone, Willow, the Batman film, Heat. He goes through a lot of his most famous films and gives you the good things and the bad things. He explains why he didn't take, why he turned down Batman after Batman Forever, things like that. He's very honest and very revealing in this, and very transparent in this documentary. And I thought it was fascinating stuff to watch. Really, really enjoyed it, and I feel after watching it, I've learnt an awful lot more about this man. Not the actor, the man. And it was really fascinating. It covers a lot of things. It covers his marriage to Joanne Wally Kilmer. He's got lots of footage of his children when they were young, his mum, his dad, all this kind of stuff, his life on his ranch and everything like that. And it really revealing, really fascinating. And he clearly didn't really as well want to edit this to the point where it shows him in a brilliant light, because it doesn't always show him in a brilliant light, this film. As you may or you may not be aware, Val Kilmer has always had this reputation in the press, fairly or not fairly, of being quite difficult on sets and things like that, and that's addressed in this documentary. Maybe not as in depth as maybe I would have liked, because it's mainly from his side of things. And you do see some footage of some of the camera stuff that he filmed, especially on, the island of Dr. Moreau with the director, the conflicts he had with the director John Frankenheimer, and you actually get to hear and see some of those conflicts on sets, because the director just didn't want him filming his own home footage stuff behind the scenes and things, and they kept clashing. So you get some really fascinating behind the scenes footage of what was going on behind the sets. And you also get to see him in his current life, traveling around, doing like autograph signings and things like that. And again, one of the autograph signings it showed him doing, he obviously is quite frail, and he fell ill and fell ill halfway through doing his autograph signing session, so he had to go and be sick and lie down. But he came back later and carried on with the signing. You got to see all of that, all of his current life. You also got him to see him travel to Texas, where they were doing a showing of Tombstone, where again he signed autographs for fans. And as they sat and watched the film on a big screen, he kind of showed up. I mean, he's, they obviously love him down there for his portrayal of Doc Holliday. It was just really fascinating. I like documentaries, but they generally have to be of a subject that interests me. And usually if it's an actor that I have some interest in, I'm always interested in watching a documentary about said actor to learn more about them. And this one was amongst the most revealing that I've ever seen. It really was a fascinating insight into Val Kilmer's life, really, and his acting life and his family life and his home life. It nailed it, really, and you do, at the end, there's a sense of sadness there that maybe he hasn't creatively, as an actor, got to do everything he wanted to do. Just before he fell ill with his throat and things, he was doing like a one-man show that was really gathering pace, getting a lot of critical acclaim and things like that, and then that had to stop because of what happened to him. I just thought it was a really good documentary, and if you are fans out there of documentaries, certainly, or even of Val Kilmer, then I think you will find this of great interest. I certainly did. I'm going to give this documentary an 8 out of 10. I thought it was really worthwhile, really interesting, and by the end of it, I felt I had learned a lot more about this man and this actor, which I think is the purpose of any documentary. If by the end of it, you've learned far more than at the beginning, then it's done its job and it's done it well. And this certainly did that. So thank you very much for watching. I will be back, of course, on the channel with plenty more reviews and content very, very soon.